We don't have. He didn't look there at inauguration. Pike County Commission work session now is in order. Our first guest we have this evening is Michael Dunn. Yes, come on with us.
Gentlemen, I appreciate it. I had to get my email out so I could keep myself on track.
Yes, sir.
We're continuing to get ready to roll out our new satellite offices in Goshen and Banks. That process is coming along. The two things I want to talk to you about tonight. My understanding was that the probate office was the ones who did the lettering on the front doors of the courthouse. And that lettering has gotten where it starts to peel off. I don't know if you noticed it today.
I went down to the bottom, so I didn't do it.
But it started to look poor, and we'd like to ask if we could, at our expense, replace that lettering again from the commission. Additionally, I'd like to talk with the commission and see if you have any issues with our department working and bidding out. We need, or we believe, that security cameras in the vault downstairs would be appropriate. And that again would be at our cost. But this commission's building. The reasoning for that we'd like to look into the cameras downstairs is one, for security for the people. The public does go down there on a regular basis. So we'd like to obviously make sure that they're secure. A secondary issue is those are some of the only records that exist. And right now there's no way to tell if some of the records are damaged or stolen. There's no way for us to go back and figure out what's happened. So, but any input that you guys would have, and again, we're asking your permission on both of those.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
You probably don't know, but you might know, and I'm doing it for anyone feelings. Jersey, that's our superintendent of buildings.
Yes, ma'am.
And got the signs and things and stuff that you need to do to the building. You probably contact her first, go through it with her, and then you and her get together and come to us. But it's all right the way you did it tonight.
We appreciate it.
So I would like, she's the superintendent of building, and she don't know anything about it. And I asked her, why didn't she tell me, or something like that. I won't ask you, I asked her, why didn't you tell me? So if she ain't, don't listen till you get on. You have my permission. She needs to do a job, when you tell her, when you ask her about it.
Well, my understanding was the previous administration had done that work.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that we asked y'all for permission to clean that up.
You ain't gonna have no problem like you got with permission. Sometimes we overlook it. But she was the superintendent of building.
We'll definitely make sure we keep her in those situations.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions? Anything else, Jeff?
That's it. If you guys have any questions of us, we'll keep you in the loop as to what we're doing as far as quotes for the cameras and things. Yes, sir.
I got it. You got put a number that we put on the back and the front, just the front.
You mean on the side, on both sides of the door?
On the back side of the building and the front side.
Back
Are you
door.
planning on doing that or just the front?
Just the front, I would think.
My interest was to replace what was already there because what's there now is starting to peel off. And just, I thought from a cosmetic standpoint.
There's not anything on that back door anyway.
All right.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Come on up, dude.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
I had Mr. Rick Virgin to work with Bible Floor Company. Mr. Johnny sent him over there to see over at the extension service about that those square heads carpet that was put down when we recovered everything. And I went over there the latter part of last year, and I stumbled, and I thought it was my stumbling when I looked down, and I said, what's going on? All the pads is up. And I know Mr. Bailey had talked about they don't vacuum the carpet anymore. You can't vacuum, because it just comes up on the vacuum. So all of it's up. So the lady that worked over there, she just said, just pick up one, you can pick up all of them. They have come apart, but from the moisture, and you know, we had that study, and the structural engineers came 3 years back, and I had Bible. Well, I went back to Town and Country, told them they had to fix it. They went back over there, they said, an outrageous price. So, you know, I said, y'all don't buck your head, be paying that. And so I let them know, something like $10,000. And so when I went over there and stumbled over it and realized all of it is up, all of it is up. So I said, Bible floor over there, and said, look at it, can this be fixed or can it not? We'll put some linoleum down. Can it be fixed? And he said they should have sealed it first. And that's what he got on. They said they should have sealed it so the moss wouldn't come back up in it with some kind of sealant, he said, and seal it. And then they should have put the copper would have stayed. So this is the price. And he said he needed to come and explain further what he's talking about. He'd be more than glad to come to the commission meeting and explain to y'all what he's talking about. But this is the quote that they gave me, it's good for 30 days.
All right, Ms. Lynn. We got any questions? Anybody? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lynn. This will need to be added to the agenda so it can come to us at the next meeting.
You might like to make a statement there.
Go ahead.
If it's that bad, if people can walk on and see a trip, we can do something meeting. We can keep putting it off. Somebody get there when you could have more than one meeting. You get a lawsuit. So we need to look into that pretty quick. And, see how quick can we get that situation taken care of. You can call that an emergency situation. If you tripping over it, and this coming up out of flow.
All right. Where would the money come from to pay for it?
Emergency situation, you get it somewhere, you get it soon, you go call it something.
James, the RMI, the money we got set aside for air maintenance account, resurfacing.
We need to look into whether or not it would come out of the money set aside in capital improvement, or if we could find it somewhere in general fund to pay for it. But I think for that amount, we could work out something on we can pay for it.
Okay. Then at the regular meeting, if someone wants to suspend the rules and add it, we'll add it and vote on it. Okay. Number fair.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I think we promised you that we'd bring those back and get them back on your agenda, just to kind of get them in front of you and begin the conversation again about what you want to do. Do you want to do another application for those two roads? Do you not? Do you want to do something different or look at some other roads. And if you do want to do these roads, we discuss if you want to do anything different in the application, maybe adding a water line improvement or something of that nature that was mentioned by a grant consultant. And then under current business, the first item we have is personnel, and you actually have 2 memos in your agenda package for personnel. The first one is a request. We had a retirement recently, so that's a request to advertise for equipment operator 1 or 2 to replace that number in the road department. And in addition to that, we're also requesting to advertise in-house for equipment operator 2. And then the second memo under personnel has a few recommendations in there. There are 2 employees who've reached the end of their probationary status, and we're recommending permanent status for those 2. And then we also have a recommendation for the full-time operator 3 that we've been advertising for in-house.
What's the chances you think that we can get the city chief grant? What is the chance of those roads really splitting that travel?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but we applied for that project 2 years in a row, and each year we missed it by 1 point. So that tells me it was a pretty strong application. But if you remember, of course, that's a competitive program, and we were up against some very competitive applications for drinking water, water supply, and things like that. So, but it was mentioned that if we included, that there is a water line under each one of those roads that will have to be relocated. So we were going to just kind of partner with the water authority. We're both owned by the Pike County Water Authority. We were going to just kind of partner with them to get that work done. But our grant consultant told us that if we want to actually include that work as part of the grant, now the amount of the grant is it's not flexible. It's only $350,000, regardless of what we put in there. So the money's still got to come from somewhere overall. The road work we're trying to do is more than the grant amount. So any confusion about that. But if we actually do that work under the grant, as part of the grant, then it might make it more attractive and increase our chances of getting more on it. So that's really all I can tell you, is that it does sound like. Now, I can ask Ashton. She'd be willing to come talk to you and explain that to you. She'd probably do a better job than I could, but I think if you want to resubmit that application or that same project for those 2 roads, I think we just maybe look at adding that additional utility work.
So to get more feasible, that might give us a better chance to get that one pump.
Yeah. The more you do with their grant funds, the better. I mean, they like, obviously, to see you do more with the grant funds. So if that's included as part of the application, then it just makes it that much more attractive.
How much of a shortfall would we have if we did do it that way?
I can't answer that. I have to get you some cost estimate for that.
So you said we already had an agreement with Water Authority to take care of that when we did this work, right?
Well, we didn't have a final written agreement with them, but we had reached out to them and discussed it, and they decided to just kind of partner and work together on what needed to be done for that. And the reason we did that is because, as far as we knew, there was no reason to include in the grant.
So if we already had the agreement, we've got an idea. We know we've applied for this thing twice and we've turned down twice. Odds are if we apply for the same thing the third time, we'll turn down the third time. So if we're going to reapply for these roads, we're definitely going to have to do something different. And fixing the water lines, the thing that will help us get through, we didn't need to do that. or back up money.
Right.
But the grant total is gonna be the same regardless if X goes to the water line and X goes to the pavement.
Yeah, the total price of cost of the application is a little bit more, but the amount of grant funds that we get will be the same.
So it sounds like we just need to finalize what's going to happen with the water authority so we know what that cost will be. Because the difference in the cost will be whatever the difference in the water line is.
That's right.
So if you
You know,
have
they can
that,
anticipate a part of grant proceeds for the water line, we know, what percent's going to the pavement, what percent of the water line.
so if we have the cost of the water line, we know what we're doing. They've already, if you've already talked to them about it, they've already put up something, they're ready pretty quick to get that through. Or get that cost estimate.
So we need to get it from the water authority and see what it's going to cost.
Okay, so we'll make that our next action item on this is to bring you some better cost estimates of just exactly how much it would cost if we include the water line and upgrades, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously going to probably pitch in some in-kind as well. So,
I would hope.
to handle it, so, and we can help you make contact and have that conversation with you. While we're on that subject, I know last year, maybe a little further, we went and met with them about trying to coordinate some of this a little better as far as grants and getting them out in front of some of the road work we were doing so we could catch them, short notice on trying to do something. Have any further conversation going on that?
No, we haven't.
On the County 7749, I don't know what I said, 2256. That's a one way in, one way out. And school bus in and out of there. And that was over last week. And there's no more patching to do to it, just it is gone. And we can get rain out in the last year. Somebody won't be able to get in and out even once a year.
That's 2256.
No, 7749.
I thought that's what it was.
And for what it's worth, they're both dead end roads. So.
2256, kind of the same way when you turn in, it's dead end, it's got bad gutters on both sides. Put a water line right in the middle of the road right there, it is a recipe
Same difference on both of them.
disaster as well. So, and I think they probably both need addressing if we could get whatever we got to do to get approved.
What else?
All right, last thing we have is the award recommendation for the industrial access project. This is to construct the new County Road 7724, which will be an access for Rex Lumber, and also to construct an acceleration lane at the intersection of County Road 7714 and US 231. The low bidder was McDonald Construction Company, $885,425.20.
Questions?
Is that going to be 3 lanes or 4 lanes?
It will be 3 lanes with room for future widening if needed.
Anything else?
One more question. I was kind of a little confused on personnel. Can you go over the personnel again?
Sure. The whole thing. You got two memos in your agenda package. The first one. First one looks like this.
That's the questions.
Okay, so that first memo is we recently had a shop employee retire, and we're going to try to reduce, or we are going to reduce the total number of shop employees that we have, and we're going to replace that number in our total personnel number with a road crew employee. So we're going to reduce the number of shop employees we have and increase the number of road crew employees we have by one. That's what we're requesting here. So we're requesting to advertise externally for equipment operator 1 or 2 qualifications. And in addition to that, we're also requesting to advertise in-house for equipment operator 2. And then the second memo are just simply 3 recommendations. The first 2, and the second memo, Commissioner, right behind the first one here. The first 2 are employees who have reached the end of their 6-month probationary period and have been doing a good job, so we want to keep them. So we're recommending permanent status for those 2. And also, we're recommending an individual for the full-time equipment operator 3 position that we've been advertising for.
You all want to have CDLs.
Well, no, sir. The two that have reached the end of their probationary status are equipment operator 1 level employees. They do not have CDLs; they're not required to. But then the forklift operator 3 does have CDL.
Anybody, anything else? Well,
That's all we have.
thank you, sir. Anybody?
Just 2 things under current business. One, we are expecting to start receiving our bid specification package for nuclear shelter hopefully in the next 2 weeks, and we'll be bringing that for the commission to review and approve the bid specifications actually with this project underway. And the second one, current business on the weather side request, I talked to Coffee County, and their attorney still has not sent the proposal that we had sent to Mr. Jones to them to their commission. So we're still waiting on that. So I think it's up to that.
Question for you, man? Anything else, sir? Thank you. Attorney report.
No report.
Any commissioner have anything to add? If not, go ahead, sir.
The number is 2. Let me talk to that work section. Let me talk to
That's
the
right.
person. We're talking squad representatives.
Okay, come on.
Okay, under the administrator's report, I just wanted to remind y'all that we had the ACCA district meeting on February the 7th at 6 p.m. in Coffee County, and we can meet here and ride together if y'all want to, or however y'all want to do, but we do have everybody registered to go to that. That's just a reminder, we don't need any action on that. Second, under the administrator's report, I emailed to all of you copies of some invoices we received from CSX. Right now, our attorney Alan Jones and engineer Russell Alder, we're trying to take a look at them and see. It's not something we expected, and we're trying to make sure what's going on with them before we ask any kind of action on that. But just to bring it to your attention to make sure y'all have seen your email or looked at it in your package. There's also copies in your package. Third, I do have the floor covering that Ms. Jeter brought to y'all. I have that up under, I should put it up in my report if y'all need to take action on that at the meeting.
Okay.
That's all I have up under new business. Under current business, number 5, the Pike County Volunteer Firefighters Firefighters Agreement. There were a couple of changes that we sent out in this package to all of you. They had to do with requiring that a department's roster have at least 4 firefighters listed, and there was a section 12 that was created that would state that they had to comply with Alabama Forestry Commission Administrative Code, Chapter 390X8, which is the certification and decertification of volunteer fire departments, that they would have to meet that or the department would be terminated. Just wanted y'all to look at it tonight. We're not asking for any action. E911 Director Chris Dozier was going to the association meeting tonight to see if they had any more questions and said that he would get back to all of you and let you know if there were any more questions or concerns about it. But if everything looks good, I think we are prepared to ask you to approve it at the next commission meeting. If everything is good, just depending on what we hear back and everything. I think Alan was good with everything on there. There will be some stipulations on how long before it goes into effect, just to give us time to take care of some housekeeping as far as accounts and getting checkbooks and stuff where we weren't taking care of all those issues. That's the end of it. That this agreement would bring us involved in that kind of the disbursement of the funds.
Go ahead.
Did you say we had the latest copy?
Yeah, what's in your package should be the latest copy. There's also in your package, I believe, a copy of that, the Forestry Commission's the requirements, but y'all have not had a copy of that yet. But that is included in your package.
I knew we had been working on it.
We need to go back to CSX.
Go ahead, well, before she goes. See,
I'm good.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I can't understand why they would say CSX would send us a bill that they notified the road department or us, then go about they go to the crosses. And then send a bill direct to us and we supposed to pay it. I don't think, you correct me wrong, how can we agree to pay something that it's something we didn't know anything about? It just, we know the roads will be, crosses will be fixed. We didn't know we got a big part of it, some of the work there.
Well, that's what I'm researching, and Russell, you can explain it, but basically he's looking at how far outside the tracks and the 2 feet that the agreements say they will, the CSX will maintain. And basically what they're basing this on, and I know it's been, I don't remember ever getting a bill of meetings and stuff like this. But if you have a chance to really look close to that, with every one of them, they've got an agreement. The county commission signing 1961, 1970, 1968, that they're basing this on. And I give an example of it, like the Youngblood or Shell on some of those. There's each agreement addresses one of those crossings. And if you look at it, back in the 60s, they put in this crossing and agreed to do so.
Yeah.
And the county agreed to vacate or abandon apparently a different road, another road. So this was the road on the crossing. But the agreement says the county will thereafter maintain and, at our expense, except the tracks and 2 feet outside of the tracks. And so I've at least looked through that, and Russell had emailed that he was going to go look at each one of them, or at least get a sample of some of the crossings, see what all's done. And then the question, that I guess we have to ask is, or determine, is take one of the statements for one of the locations. I mean, is that they're telling us for the entire right-of-way to right-of-way crossing, including the tracks and the two, I haven't been able to look close enough yet at that to tell that that is something Russell can break down better than, and then we can talk. But also, I don't know if others are coming, but if you look at all of the ones they worked on, I guess, in the county, and yes, I talked about that, the bill that they sent does not include all of them, if I'm wrong.
The bill's a bit confusing, and I have sent, I tried to place a call, but they're not accepting voicemails. But I have sent an email back to the guy, which is how we received the invoices was through email. So I sent him an email that I need to talk to him to ask some questions about it, because if you look close at it, it's got some things in there that are not in Pike County, that are in the city of Troy. Just there's some questions that it doesn't make a lot of sense trying to take their information where they go to into an invoice. I think we even had a question on one of them whether or not it's in the that they did bill us for, whether or not it's the county's. But at the time the agreement was signed, that crossing was probably in the county, but it's no longer. It's been annexed into the city of Troy. So we do have some questions that we're trying to run down leads on. So I mean, we're not wanting any kind of action to be taken, and we don't even know if it's the right amount until we talk to them and get some more information.
Let me say, in one of my classes that I took, it says, if my memory is right, that we inherit anything that our commissions approve. We inherit for up to 10 to 20 years. We inherit when they vote on it. So this falling under that guideline, and we know anything about it, and I'm glad that we all researched it. So we inherit that from those commissions who voted back in for that. And I tried to go through some of my books to find it. But
well, I'm not aware of the time limit. It just depends on
how much it
the
is.
agreement is. These things say that the county, as long as there's a crossing there, after the work got done, say in 66, that's the date of an agreement. 61 is one of them. It says the county will thereafter, meaning now, 60, as long as that crossing's there, that we took on that responsibility. But it also limits us to not the whole thing, but to just basically, if you look at it like this is the way I interpret it, and I think I'm right, is the railroad crossing is there for the public. I mean, it's there for, it's a road. It's part of our road system. It's just a railroad track goes through that road right there. And we want the track. We want the trains coming through like that. So they're saying we'll handle our part, and then anything that's like the road on either side, it's yours. And that's, I mean, they're not supposed to maintain our road, and we're not supposed to maintain their tracks. And that's kind of what it says. So, but if you look at each bill, you can't tell if they prorated it out, if it's just a total amount, and I'm just saying we've already had a conversation. So we're researching it. We're not paying a penny of this until we figure it all out and get some more information and confirm some things. But like there's a long list in there, John, if you look at it, every single one of them. And if you take that, just go down to City Hall and stop, like you're crossing Academy Street or Oak, or some of them, not Oak, but those are all running 3-notch, all of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 just right there, not far apart, doing each road, and you saw there what those costs were. I mean, how, and of course, that's in the city, so I'm guessing that's what I think you've got to call it out.
And I've spoken with him, and that, but their costs were considerably lower than what we were doing.
The other question about,
We need to check into that, because I don't know. See, I don't, that's the other thing, if their costs were lower,
Which is why I went ahead and called.
then I'd like to find out, they must not build down for every one of the crossings.
That's kind of a, yeah, that's kind of the city of Troy's, and they've had numerous.
Well, so that's what I'm at.
All the bills that they got.
Well, in this invoice you gave us, there's 15 city streets, there's 5 private drives, and there's 2 U.S. highways, and at least 4 or 5 roads that I know are in Montgomery County.
Right, which is
They're north of
why,
Shady Road. So, you know, that's what you're fixing to deal with is why are 2 U.S. highways on the county's bill, 15 city streets?
yeah, and you can notice, I mean, that the total that is on that page is not what the actual invoice that they're invoicing us for, but there's no rhyme or reason that I can see as to why they're invoicing us for what they are, and that's why we've got to call in.
But if you take the invoice, the actual invoice you got, you received, 30-something.
It's about between 37 and 38,000.
They put which ones those are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you compare that to what the list is, I'm not talking about the ones that aren't in, but I'm talking about the ones that we know are in the county. Then they only built us a small portion of what we would, assuming the agreements are correct. Now they do, that big list includes stuff not ours. They didn't break it out, and that's why we'll have to check and make phone calls. But I'm just saying there are other, as I recall, there are other crossings on county roads that are in that's not on that 4 or so island crossings that are on the bill that I recall.
But that, like what you were saying, it doesn't, like a bill in there might be saying $19,000, but they're only invoicing us for $7,000, but yet there's no rhyme or reason to where they got the $7,000, which is why we're trying to call and find out some information.
Which could probably be their explanation bill. That's y'all are the two outside. Well, it seems to me like that should have been coordinated with the county engineer and the road department as to what I project, so we wouldn't get caught off guard like this.
Well, I want to make another statement. I was going to handle this differently, but in lieu of being sent an invoice for something we weren't asked about, whatever we need to do, and you know, the comment was kind of made to me, when the railroad's going to do something, they're just going to do it, and we're not going to get advance notice. And some of these people are not Pike County citizens, but when they came through the north part of my district, replacing everything from Troy up to the Montgomery County line, there was a week there that people that lived in north central Pike County, lived in south Montgomery County, northeast Crenshaw County, that people were driving 25 miles out of their way to get to work in Troy. Or if they had called the ambulance would have had to drove 30 miles out of the way to get to them, or a fire truck. And all of that, if we're going to be billed for this, then we need to say about how it's going to be done. You don't shut down 4 crossings in a row for a week. You do them systematically where a fire truck and ambulance can get across them, and we're not going to. There were hundreds of people, if not more than that, in the south part of Montgomery, north part of Pike, Crenshaw County, that were put out in some really dangerous ways when it comes to police, ambulance, and fire for 2 weeks, that we weren't given any say about how that was done. And if we're going to be billed for something in the future, we need to say about how it's done. And that needs to be part of this conversation that we have. We get a bill since 1966, and some things got to have changed since then, you know, and we need to have the EMA, the road department, sheriff, folks like that need to have some say about how we do this and it's done safely. And I want to say that now, we're going to have to pay for this. You know, if we're going to pay for what we need to serve safe.
they even had 223, 29, and all of that is in this invoice. I'm not saying it's charging us for it, but it's stated all the way. Then I see, what you got,
29 US, so
yes,
it's federal.
and, 243 you get. So, stay high.
You rest sure they don't have an agreement with the state, and this government about maintaining crossing, so they ain't gonna be getting the bill, but that ain't, I mean, that's not something we should bear either, but, when the kids got them, she sent them around to everybody, including y'all, so we've already, we've already moved on toward trying to get facts, more information,
We gotta go on to.
and they just gonna stay just like it is till we come back and have all the information for you.
Let's move on.
Okay. Next on my report is going to be the beer and wine off-premise license at the Dollar General store. This is located in District 6. We do have everything we need for that application to be approved if you so choose tonight. So just ready to move forward. You don't have any questions on that? The last item is the commission office and the staffing. I don't have a report quite yet for y'all yet. I'm waiting on one person, or a couple of people to finish getting in some quotes to me, for some information I've asked. As soon as I get that, I'll have something out to y'all.
Okay. Any more questions for this?
In the night, are these gonna be our local folks, or are these gonna be people out?
I'm waiting for the information from some local, people is what I'm waiting on right now.
You tell you what, you know, we have to think about our local constituents. And we need to give them opportunity to have a chance to do whatever we decide to do about it, instead of giving it something somebody else. And so I hope we look closer to that so we can go ahead and do what we decide to do.
Yeah, that's why I've waited to bring anything. I'm waiting on some information with the holidays. It's taking them a little longer to get us some quotes back. I have sent them some information to look at so that they can give us a quote on maybe some hourly rates and such on preparing financial statements annually.
All right, thank you. This ends the work session, and since it's already 6 o'clock, we'll take a 5-minute break and come back for our regular meeting. Sure.